Did you grow up fearing menopause like it was the death of your womanhood, the death of sexy, waking up at night with sweaty bras and crying over toilet paper commercials? Yeah, me too. Until I actually got here. And what I discovered, menopause is not this villain we've been led to believe. So what if I told you that menopause might actually be better than your 30s? Yeah, I said that. Better than your 30s. So let's talk about 3 surprising ways menopause might actually be better than your 30s. We're talking freedom, confidence, and yes, pleasure. My goal, by the end of this chat, that you'll be saying, wait a minute, maybe this next chapter of life is something to be excited about. Sounds good? Because let's be real. Most of us were taught to dread this phase of life. We were taught it meant decline, energy gone, body failing, and passion dead. But what if the problem isn't menopause, but how we've been conditioned to think about it? So let's break down 3 ways menopause could be a powerful new beginning if you let it. What would life look like if you actually stopped caring so much about what everyone else thought? Let us rewind to our 30s for a second. That was the decade when I was extra strength busy trying to be everyone's everything. The perfect daughter, wife, mom, friend, and employee. All the while secretly wanting to run away to the beach with a book and a sombrero. Back then, I confused kindness with saying yes to everyone. You get a yes. You get a yes. Everybody gets a yes. But something shifted in my mid-40s. I caught myself saying, actually, I think I'll take a pass on that. Or no, that would overload my schedule. And instead of the guilt I expected, I felt relief. Now, from the outside looking in, my responses may have seemed like I was giving attitude. But no, that's not the truth. There are actual biological factors at play here. Did you know that estrogen plays a role in our people-pleasing tendencies? As estrogen drops during menopause, the need to please people to the detriment of ourselves, that starts to fade away. That shift could very well be nature's way of saying, hey, you've taken care of everyone for decades. Now it's time to focus on you. And no, don't get it wrong. We are not becoming selfish. We are becoming self-aware. Big difference. This new level of freedom, of understanding is not just refreshing. It is the beginning of something powerful. Now let's talk about the second surprising shift. Imagine the self-doubt that followed you for years suddenly starting to fade away. Throughout my 30s, I was constantly second guessing myself. Was I a loving enough wife? Good enough mom? Was I attractive enough? Smart enough to talk to women who were still in the workforce since my husband retired me 6 months into my first pregnancy? When I tell you the mental scorecard, that was exhausting. But menopause, with all of its hormonal shifts, brought a surprising bonus: emotional steadiness. When our hormones are better supported and regulated, guess what? Anxiety, that decreases. Mood swings lessen. And suddenly, we find ourselves no longer apologizing for things that were not ours to apologize for. We stop explaining and over-explaining everything like somebody's paying us to do it. It's not our full-time job. Let me tell you, self-awareness is absolutely an underrated superpower. See, years ago, I stressed for weeks over my husband's class reunion. I wanted to look the part, talk the part, all the things, right? And I had a mediocre time because I was so in my head about so many things, not confident in me and what I brought to the table. So this year, when we went to his class reunion, I walked in dressed in what felt good and comfortable and simply enjoyed myself. I didn't feel the need to list off my accomplishments, over-explain anything, or try to outdo the other person. Well, your kid did this, my kid did that, you did this, we did that. None of that was present. It wasn't even anywhere in my mental hemisphere. I walked my 54-year-old behind in there and I just was. And it was incredible. No longer trying to prove anything to anyone. That hits different and it feels flipping good. But confidence isn't the only thing that transforms during this time. This next one might surprise you the most. All right, let's go there because I feel like nobody's talking about this enough. They're not talking about what happens when sex becomes more about pleasure and less about performance and reproduction. Because we're told that in our 40s and our 50s, things are going to slow down. Well, I'm here to tell you that things can absolutely get better over here in menopause land. In my 30s, I was all in my head. I carried a lot of sexual baggage. Was I attractive enough? Where was I in my cycle? Would this lead to pregnancy? Do you know how hard it is to enjoy something when your brain won't shut up? Don't get it wrong. Menopause does cause changes. Our hormone shifts, our libido shifts, and things can get dry. But that does not mean the party is over. Remember, I told you I had a lot of sexual baggage. You cannot begin to imagine when one night I found myself in bed with my husband and I was fully present. No commentary tracks running through my mind, no list of to-do things afterwards, no worries, concerns about is this hanging, is this sagging, does this feel soft and squishy? Oh my goodness, should I turn the lights off or close the curtains tighter? None of that commentary, no anxiety, just me present with him in the moment. See, the real gift during this phase, during menopause, is that we start to own our enoughness. We stop performing and start connecting. That's a whole nother kind of intimacy. Slower, deeper, no pressure, no performance, just presence. And honestly, that's sexier than anything I've ever experienced in my 30s. And sadly, no one's talking about menopause like this. We hear about all of the symptoms, but not about the gifts. I get it. Hot flashes suck and sleep disruptions are real, but focusing only on the downsides of menopause. It's like describing a beach vacation by only talking about the sunburn you got on day 3. Menopause isn't just the end of our period. It is the start of our power. It's nature's pivot from reproduction and caregiving to wisdom, confidence, and self-actualization. Because, sweetie, menopause is not about you fading. It's about you emerging. See you next time.